Knuckles! If Tails and I were drowning, who would you save?
You two can't swim?
It's a hypothetical question, Knuckles. Now, who would you save?
My time and effort.
So here's the thing. I like Sonic the Hedgehog. The character, the movie, I've played a few of the games, and the mythology itself interests me. I wouldn't consider myself a Sonic fanboy, but I'm a decent enough fan. Sonic is relevant again. Nando V Movies made fan casting videos cool again. Let's do a fan casting of major Sonic characters. Okay, a few notes here. One, I haven't seen Sonic 2 yet. I have no clue if any of the characters I'm about to list appear or are teased in that film. So far as I know, the major characters in this rendition of the Sonic universe are Ben Schwartz as Sonic the Hedgehog, Colleen O'Shaughnessy as Miles Prower, aka Tails the Fox, Idris Elba as Knuckles the Echidna, and Jim Carrey as Dr. Ivo Robotnik, aka Eggman. So if I end up naming something in this video that ends up being contradicted by the movie, well, A, keep it to yourself, no spoilers, and B, oh well. Okay, so in the time between when I recorded that segment and now, I actually did see Sonic 2, and, I mean, if you've seen it, you know at least one person on this list is in that movie, but still doesn't have a voice. So I'm clean. 2, I am, as I stated earlier, not the biggest fanboy of Sonic the Hedgehog. I do, however, have a few friends who are, and so these casting decisions weren't just me, it was me and Omar coming up with things together. 3, and I can't stress this enough, I am a big proponent of professional voice actors being given the opportunity to work on blockbusters of this scale, and I think it's stupid when A-list celebrities are added to these films just for the sake of clout. Like, for example, I like Vin Diesel as Groot, but his inclusion as Groot in later appearances, I feel, robs professional voice actors who actually do have that vocal range from the opportunity to work on a fucking Marvel movie. Vin only really gets a pass because he is a classically trained voice actor rather than a screen actor. But what irks me even more is when popular actors are cast solely on their name and not on how they'll fit the character. Like, for example, I don't know, Dwayne Johnson as Crypto the Superdog. Now, so far, Sonic has done a really good job of not doing that. Ben Schwartz, Idris Elba, Jim Carrey, in spite of their names being big pullers, are all great casts for those respective characters. However, I firmly believe that Colleen O'Shaughnessy is the best casting of the bunch because she was literally just cast on the grounds that she plays Tails in the games. That's kind of where I'm going with this. If it was up to me, if I was the casting director of the next 5 Sonic movies and shows, and I was told I needed to include any or all of these characters, I would just cast whoever played them in the most recent game. However, I know that realistically, that won't happen. So this is the mentality I've gone with. I am the casting director for Sonic 3. I need to cast these characters, and the producers are making me cast really famous people. So who's going on that goddamn poster? And number 4, this is just for fun. If I didn't cast your favorite actor of all time to play Mighty the Armadillo, don't get pissed. If anything, give me your fan cast for each of these characters in the comments or on Twitter at Chimera Films. Okay? Okay. So the structure here is that I'm going to briefly introduce each character and what they're all about, and then I'm going to introduce 3 actors that I think could reasonably play that character, determining what my top pick for that character would be. And I don't expect all these characters to appear in Sonic 3, but with the announcement of the Knuckles spin-off, not only do I see these guys appearing there or in future movies, I could also see them appearing in potential future spin-offs. So let's get started with the one who I think absolutely needs to be in Sonic 3.
Chilling with my boys and we cruising down the street.
Yeah.
It's getting really hot. Yeah, these bars are super heat.
Yeah. We chilling in this car. You were finna go to Mars.
Yeah. I'm really fucking sad. I might go and crash the car.
Whoa,
wait.
Amy Rose is a bit of a complicated character. The games have kind of struggled to give her a personality aside from being Sonic's #1 fangirl, but I think there's enough to determine how we need to cast this character. Amy is relentlessly optimistic, almost to a fault, but her alliance with Sonic and his friends means she can put that optimism to good use as the one who will always get the team out of a rut. However, Amy's obsession with Sonic means that she can be a bit obsessive, and her temper is not something to be underestimated. So, who are my picks? Well, first off, Zooey Deschanel. If you've seen anything of her in New Girl, you know that she is very good at playing the optimist no matter how shitty things get. And Jess is also prone to temperamental outbursts, so it wouldn't be far-fetched to see her playing Amy. Next up, Erin Moriarty, whose work as Starlight in The Boys is quickly making her a mainstay on everyone's fan casting lists. Starlight is pretty naive and optimistic at the start of the show, but she's also a badass, which is kind of how I'd like to see Amy done, since the Sonic movies have done a good job of making the heroes and villains both goofy and badass. But my absolute top pick is Milana Vaintrub. God, I hope I pronounced her name right. I think she deserves to be in a big franchise role like this, especially since Marvel's New Warriors, which had her cast as Squirrel Girl, got cancelled. Most people just know her as Lily from AT&T, but I highly recommend checking her out in Werewolves Within, a movie where she's just playing the nation of Canada distilled into a human being. And next time you get an AT&T ad, just close your eyes and picture Amy. Actually, there's an ad going around at the time that I'm recording this, where the joke is that she's been replaced with Zooey Deschanel, so you can go ahead and do the same thing with her.
God, give me patience.
I think you mean give me strength.
If God gave me strength, you'd be dead.
With the addition of Amy, I wouldn't mind seeing the rest of Team Rose. Big the Cat is just kind of a big dummy. He loves his Froggy, and he loves his friends, and he loves the world that he inhabits. Big the Cat is a friend built like friend. And so, I have two that I'm not married to for Big, and one that I need more than anything else. First, Tommy Chong. I said this one as a joke, but Omar liked it, so he kept it in. Second, Winston Duke. This guy is great. He's got a really great range. His vocal range is what I'd expect for a more cinematic take on Big. And his really goofy energy in Us is more or less what I'd want, just a bit less dad-like. Okay, so here's my top pick. Brendan fucking Fraser. Come on. Name any other actor in Hollywood that's built more like a friend. Plus, Fraser deserves it. The dude's comeback is well documented, but let's add to it. He's already got an amazing DC show, a promising upcoming DC movie, and a Martin Scorsese movie under his belt. So let's let him add to the legacy of one of the biggest gaming franchises ever. Also, let Big say fuck.
Dandelions symbolize everything I want to be in life.
Fluffy and dead with a gust of wind?
Unapologetic. Hard to kill. Feral. Filled with sunlight. Bright and beautiful in a way that the conventional and controlling hate cannot ever fully destroy. Stubborn, happy, bastardous, friends with bees, highly disapproving of lawns, full of wishes that will be carried far after I die!
Animal.
Rounding out Team Rose, we have Cream the Rabbit. Cream's a little harder to cast because, I mean, she's a child, arguably the youngest member of the Sonic universe. Personality-wise, Cream is like a fucking Girl Scout. She's polite and pleasant to be around. She's curious about the world around her because, again, she's a little kid, but that also adds to her being a bit naive in a way that Amy kinda isn't. And the fact that Cream is a literal child means she's the only one where I'm looking exclusively at professional voice actresses. Starting with Andrea Liebman. And before you say it, no, I'm not a fucking brony. This was Omar's suggestion. But after listening to some Pinkie Pie clips, yeah, she'd be a good Cream. So let's swing to someone I am kind of familiar with, Star Butterfly herself, Eden Scher. Sure. I don't know. She's already got experience voicing a relentlessly hopeful child, so why not do it again? And my top pick is Tara Strong, solely on the grounds that she is Tara Strong and like half of her career is spent voicing kids. Plus, with her inclusion as Miss Minutes in Loki, it's not like she'd be opposed to doing a bit part in a popular film franchise.
Hey Shadow, what is your biggest weakness?
I can be uncooperative.
Okay, can you give me an example?
No. Okay, so I'm sure a lot of you were waiting for this one. Shadow is, arguably, the most popular non-Sonic character in the franchise.
Shadow the Hedgehog! Hey everybody, look! Shadow's here!
Who's he?
He's only the second most popular character in the whole canon!
I honestly think that Shadow the Hedgehog will most likely be the villain for the third movie, and so casting him needs to be perfect. I also recorded this before I saw Sonic 2. I feel like they'll change elements of his story to fit this new universe, but Shadow still needs to be a tragic character, scorned by humanity and denied someone to love, turning into someone seeking himself in whatever form that takes. Someone who starts out as more or less pure chaotic evil, and getting him on the side of chaotic neutral by the end of the film. And so we need an actor who can both deliver on what Shadow sounds like, as well as capture the complexity of a character who is genuinely compelling, who most people have kind of written off as just being the edgy one. Essentially, we need someone to do for Shadow what Idris Elba did to restore the reputation of Knuckles. My first pick, Anthony Starr. If you want to lean into the villainous aspect of Shadow while still giving him a more charismatic edge, why not use Homelander? Like, he's also my top pick for Reverse Flash, but he could do Shadow too. Next, Jensen Ackles. Yes, this is the third Boys cast member in this video. I wasn't even thinking of the Boys when I picked Ackles. I wasn't even thinking of Supernatural. I was thinking of how similar Red Hood and Shadow are, and Ackles, you know, he already has a great voice presence, so why not just make him Shadow? But my absolute top pick, and I might get some shit for this, is Keanu Reeves. I know, Keanu was on everyone's fan cast list for every franchise that's ever existed. Just hear me out. Keanu is an incredibly talented actor who always seeks the truth in his characters. He's also very prone to playing tragic characters, partly due to his own life tragedies. I feel like he relates to that a lot, and so he's able to bring it out in his performances more. Hell, two performances that have defined his career, Neo and John Wick, are ultimately both tragedies. And Keanu has been in the third SpongeBob movie, and he's playing Batman in League of Super Pets. So I feel like he's not above doing a movie just for kids. Plus, like, just, you know the dude's voice. You can't tell me he's not a great Shadow voice.
I need your help, please.
I've got 3 words for you.
I bet they won't be helpful.
Your problem, faker.
I was right.
Naturally, with Shadow has to come Rouge, the Sonic franchise's very own femme fatale. A jewel thief and a government agent, Rouge needs a couple different things to make her work. We need someone who's going to play off of Shadow really well, and we need someone who's going to play off of Knuckles really well. Rouge and Shadow always go hand in hand as partners in crime or crime fighting, depending on the day, and Rouge and Knuckles have always had this very specific chemistry that a lot of people construe as romantic. Plus, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but Rouge needs to sound sexy. That is a sentence I've had to say for this video, but come on. You know I have to. It's part of her character. I'm not a furry. Anyways, our top 3 picks. First up, Lupita Nyong'o. This is 100% born from the fact that I am, indeed, down bad for Lupita Nyong'o. But also, I feel like some elements of the way she plays Nakia would translate well. She carries herself with this very aloof energy, for lack of a better word, that I feel would work really well for Rouge. Similarly, Omar suggested Kristen Cruick. That's right, Smallville's own Lana Lang. I think her voice would lend itself really well to Rouge, but honestly, we both came to this conclusion pretty quickly. Rosario Dawson. RDoss is a great actress who can play the sexy badass archetype in her sleep, and if you need proof of that, go watch The Rundown. It's great and she's great in it, and her role in that movie is about as involved as I'd expect Rouge's role to be in Sonic 3. Plus Keanu Reeves and Rosario Dawson as Shadow and Rouge. Fuck yeah.
Pinocchio could tell us so much about the universe. He could randomly claim things like the Big Bang happened, and his nose would confirm or deny our theories.
Pinocchio's not omniscient, you stupid fucking Redditor. His nose grows when he's being intentionally dishonest.
Heh, looks like things are heating up in the Pinocchio fandom.
Okay, so this is where I really start throwing out just real curveballs. This isn't planning for Sonic 3 or even Sonic 4. This is like me reaching way into the future for 5, 6 onward. If Transformers can do it, then so can Sonic. But at least more than 2 of the Sonic movies will be good. So Silver the Hedgehog is a bit of an inconsistently written character, but we do have a few main traits that work for the character. He's got a strong sense of right and wrong, good and evil, and he has a tendency to be a bit naive. He's also incredibly powerful for as childish as he can be at times, which I think would make him a really cool foil for Sonic. So who do we have on our list? Well, let's start with Ezra Miller. Okay, never mind, we're going with Evan Peters. I honestly thought of him without even remembering the fact that he was Quicksilver. I just really like Evan Peters as a person, and his voice I think would suit Silver. Plus, he plays Quicksilver in a somewhat similar way to the way that Silver behaves. Next, we've got another pro voice actor, my one true love, Josh Keaton. I honestly think that anyone who's played a modern rendition of animated Spider-Man could make a halfway decent Silver because they're good at embodying those traits and having the proper voice. But Josh is the one I'd go with if I had to pick between every modern Spider-Man voice actor. But my top pick, and one that you might not immediately agree with, Daniel Radcliffe. The guy's a genuinely great actor, and his time spent as Harry Potter means he's good at playing a naive, righteous powerhouse. but his rolling guns akimbo also proves he can be a bit bumbling if need be, and that his American accent is perfectly believable.
Bad things keep happening to me. Like I have bad luck or something.
Silver, you don't have bad luck. The reason bad things happen to you is because you're a dumbass.
Much like how Rouge must come with Shadow, Blaze must come with Silver. Blaze has, in my opinion, the weirdest backstory of any Sonic character. This is coming from a guy who just fancast a science experiment meant to help unlock the secrets to immortality birthed from an alien god and a time-traveling telekinetic twink. Blaze is a princess from an alternate dimension tasked with guarding essentially her version of the Chaos Emeralds, who possesses the ability to shoot fire and teams up with Silver to stop a cosmic apocalypse. Also, she dies at the end of the game she was introduced in, but that gets erased due to time travel and shit, but she and Silver do remain good friends. Sonic 06 is really weird. Like, I know everyone says it, but oh my god, Sonic 06 is weird. The fact that the fan dub makes more sense says a lot. Blaze is a really good balance for Silver's strengths and weaknesses, with the two having a very older sister, younger brother kind of relationship. Where Silver is naive and allows his motions to be a guiding force, Blaze is a lot wiser and more stoic, more emotionally reserved. Blaze and Silver both have a really strong sense of justice, but Blaze is a touch more free-spirited, meaning she's not above breaking a few rules here and there. My first pick, Jada Pinkett Smith. I know, the slap, I don't care, I picked her before the slap, we shouldn't be fucking blacklisting people over the slap. Watch Gotham, Fish Mooney is how I want Jada to play Blaze, just less villainous. Second, a less controversial pick, Halle Berry. I could also see her playing Rouge, honestly, but her voice matches what I envision for Blaze more. And lastly, and more importantly, Brie Larson. Yes, her performance as Captain Marvel is pretty bad, but I believe that more on the writing and not on her acting. But Brie is a genuinely great actress, and I think the parts of her performance as Captain Marvel, and kind of how she plays Envy Adams as well, would be a good blend for a stoic, heroic Blaze. That was fun to say.
Are you sure this is the right direction?
Certainly. I am as sure as I am honest.
In that case, we're definitely lost.
It's only fitting that I tackle the Chaotix together. Considering that these guys were introduced in a Knuckles spin-off title, and they have a cameo in the Sonic 2 prequel comic, I could easily see the Chaotix showing up in the Knuckles show. More so than almost anyone else on this list. First up is Vector, the leader of the team and the brains behind the Chaotix Detective Agency. Vector is a chill guy, but also a bit of a loudmouth. He's a good leader, but that also means he has a tendency to be a bit bossy. He is a genuinely good detective, and he likes doing the right thing, but above all else, he and the rest of the Chaotix stick to their rule of any job that makes them money, because homie's gotta pay rent. So we need someone who can be relaxed, a good leader, and down for some money. First, we got John Leguizamo, who's probably the closest voice of our three picks here to the original Vector voice. Leguizamo is an amazing voice actor and has proved in a movie that I will not name for fear of judgment that he can play a character who's both cunning and very good at using his skills in the interest of financial gain. Second, Jake Johnson. Spider-Man proves that he's good at the strong leader who knows how to get serious when shit gets tough, but Nick Miller proves he knows how to be 100% chill and a bit money-grubbing. And our top pick, John DiMaggio. So this was Omar's pick, but he's right. DiMaggio is a great voice actor, and no matter what voice he ends up doing, he'll have just the right amount of major motherfucker energy that Vector begets.
So what if I press the brake and gas at the same time?
The car takes a screenshot.
For the last time, get the fuck out.
So Espio the Chameleon is as close to any Sonic character we'll get to being, as I like to call a lot of characters, a stone cold Yo Double G. Espio exists to balance out the wackiness of his Chaotix partners. He is a literal ninja and is as stoic as they get. He's kind of a hard ass and a bit of a pessimist, but it's to balance the more optimistic outlook of his teammates. He takes his job deadly seriously, but he isn't above cracking the odd joke. Diedrich Bader, Batman. A goofy Batman, but there's a reason that people have attached themselves to this version of Batman in recent years. Hell, look at him in Harley Quinn, where most of his scenes are spent playing the straight man to characters like Harley and Jim Gordon. He'd be perfect for it, honestly. Don Cheadle could also do it because he's pretty good at playing the straight man. Cheadle could also probably lean into a more comedic side to the character if that's the direction they wanted to take. I honestly said Don Cheadle as a joke. This is just like Tommy Chong is Big, where I said something as a joke, and then Omar was like, wait, but actually, and so we just kind of went with it. But, if I'm being honest, Daniel Kaluuya would kill it. He's got a dope voice, he's very good at just being chill, and for some reason, Espio with a British accent just feels kind of right to me.
If you had to choose between Charmy and all the money I have in my wallet, which would you choose?
That depends. How much money are we talking about?
Victor!
62 cents.
Ooh, I'll take the money.
Victor!
You know, why is Charmy the only Sonic character without a the? Like, why isn't he Charmy the Bee? He's just Charmy Bee. Anyways, Charmy is, in essence, a more childish version of Sonic. He's a spunky kid, he's playful, determined, and energetic. I think if the movie version of Sonic ever met Charmy, it should be to show how much Sonic has grown as a person. Sonic should be written at that point way more maturely, and then Charmy should be written basically how he was at the start of the first movie, just with more friends. Charmy is a literal child, like Cream, but this time we didn't cast based on that fact. We cast on the fact that Charmy was literally designed to be the Sonic of the Chaotix. So we basically just did what Zombieland Double Tap did, and we cast based on, well, who's the poor man's version of Sonic? First, we had Dylan O'Brien. I don't think I need to explain this one. He's Dylan O'Brien, you know what his voice sounds like, and he's got experience playing a bee. Sorta. Moving on, we have Greg Sipes. Most people know him as Beast Boy, and I think that's a pretty good referent for how Charmy should behave. Kinda obnoxious, but only because he loves fun and loves keeping morale up. Also because it just means that he's getting more attention, which is something that he might have been deprived of. But if I had to defy every expectation, my top pick is Curran Walters, the actor who plays Jason Todd on Titans. Now listen, is Jason a well-written character and is Titans a well-written show? Hell no. But when Walters has the ability to capture that obnoxious little brother energy that actually makes me kinda like that version of Jason for 5 minutes, he does it pretty damn well. So now that we've wrapped up the Chaotix, I think we're done with the Sonic Heroes, reference fully intended. But that doesn't mean we're done.
Greetings, Hedgehog. I have returned.
What the? You can't be here! You're dead! I literally saw you die!
Death is a social construct.
Okay, now this fucking guy right here, he's awesome. Metal Sonic needs to be an absolute force in these movies. Metal Sonic is a legacy character. He's older than Shadow or even Knuckles, he's as old as Amy, and he is easily my favorite Sonic villain. Metal Sonic is the final form of the Badniks and a perfect physical rival to Sonic. But his personality is the exact opposite. He is cold, calculated, literally exists just to kill Sonic, and above all, he barely speaks, mostly just buzzing and beeping. Now, this is just from initial depictions of Metal Sonic, but I think if they start him here and give him a voice eventually, it'll be pretty dope. Plus, just buzzing and beeping can still have an actual voice behind it, especially a celebrity voice. I mean, just look at Bill Hader voicing BB-8. So when they do give Metal Sonic a voice, it needs to sound like the Grim Reaper himself. And I have 3 really good picks. First, Andy Serkis. The dude is a pro at sounding intimidating, and if you apply the right filter to it, I could honestly see his Snoke voice being a really good match. Second, Yahya Abdul-Mateen II. I'm just now realizing that I put someone who is the second in a second spot. I hate myself so much. He is slowly becoming an institution in franchise films, being in The Matrix, Candyman, and 2 different DC properties as both Black Manta and Dr. Manhattan. And the dude's voice is a big part of that. He's got an intimidatingly low register and could easily be the perfect voice of Metal Sonic. But I have a pick that I believe in more than any other, Christopher Judge, the voice of modern Kratos, and also Avengers as Black Panther. He really does a good job as Black Panther in that game. Now I say that and some of you are already pissing yourselves at the thought of him, but if you're not, I'm just gonna play this.
Leave my home.
Now tell me he wouldn't be exquisite.
Well, you know what they say. Nothing in life is free.
Love is free.
Adventure is free.
Knowledge is free.
Everything is free if you take it without paying.
So here's a recap of our final picks for the potential cast of characters in future Sonic sequels and spin-offs. Milana Vaintrube as Amy Rose.
I'm going to, just 1 second, please, if you would excuse me. Continue.
Brendan Fraser as Big the Cat.
And I never thought that I would be happy to see you.
Tara Strong as Cream the Rabbit.
Why would they do that? That's really, really mean. I seem to be getting something in my eye again.
Keanu Reeves as Shadow the Hedgehog.
In that moment, I received some semblance of hope. An opportunity to grieve unalone.
Rosario Dawson as Rouge the Bat.
Perhaps he has a Padawan now.
Daniel Radcliffe as Silver the Hedgehog.
Fun factoid, gunshots are way louder than in the movies. In real life, Rambo would not be killing guerrilla fighters. He would be learning sign language.
Brie Larson as Blaze the Cat.
Short answer, being vegan just makes you better than most people.
John DiMaggio as Vector the Crocodile.
I do, because peeps need to respect themselves when they leave the house. Even if it's just for ice cream or TP or whatever.
Daniel Kaluuya as Espio the Chameleon.
What's a bad miracle? They got word for that.
Curran Walters as Charmy Bee.
Present accounted for, babe.
And Christopher Judge as Metal Sonic.
To be effective in combat, a warrior must not feel for his enemy.
I didn't add Omega to this list because, like, his voice is just so robotic that I honestly feel like Omega could be anyone. But hey, maybe if this video does well, I could do some more characters like Omega, Mighty, Ray, and maybe some others that I left out in a part 2. No promises though, because this video is already going to be fairly long and a lot of work. But I'd like to thank you all so much for watching, and give a shout out to my patrons, particularly Omar and Taryn, my $10 patrons. I'd also like to thank everyone who turned out to voice act in this video. I can't verbally list them because not everyone has been cast at this point, but I know that they've all done great. I could just sense that shit. They'll be credited below, so go ahead and check them out. And if you need me, I'll be hoping that Sonic 3 gives us the brutal death of a 12-year-old.
Kids, there's nothing more cool than being hugged by someone you like. But if someone tries to touch you in a place or a way that makes you feel uncomfortable, that's no good. It's your body. No one has the right to touch you if you don't want them to. So what do? First, you say no. Then, you get out of there. Most important, you gotta tell someone you trust, like your parents, your teacher, a police officer.